Hey, welcome to the Matthew Scott Project. Today I got me a beef brisket, a choice beef brisket. Over Thanksgiving I had brisket and I want to learn how to do it. I got a smoker. I've never done a brisket before, so this ain't a how-to. This is to see if I can do it. I don't want to ruin a 13-pound piece of meat here, but I'm going to go through every step, document it, see how it comes. Well, it's Friday about 5, so I'm going to cut this up, get the fat, I'm going to use the fat. I'm going to use it as my tallow when I wrap this thing up. So it's going to be a little complicated, but I'm going to smoke that. My basic plan is 225 for 12 hours. That's including wrapping, so figure on the grill for 8 hours and then another 4 hours wrapped at the same temperature. And then I'm going to take it off. I'm going to let it rest, cool off a little bit, wrap it, put it in a cooler, let it sit for 6 hours, and then I'm going to serve it tomorrow at 6. And I'm going to see if that works. See if I can get a beautiful piece, and I'm going to let you guys go step by step, and if I screw it up, I'm going to let you know. If I kick ass, you'll see it, I'll show it to you, and I'll be proud, but we'll see how this goes. So I'm going to open this thing up, and I'm going to start trimming this thing. A little nerve-wracking, but I'm also kind of excited. So I want this to turn out well. So I'm going to cut this thing up a little bit, get a lot of this fat off, save the fat, and in the whole scheme of things, I guess I'll get up at 5 in the morning, put the tray of the fat so I can make it tallow, some coating. I'm going to put it on the smoker to get some smoke into that thing, and then when it's time to wrap it, I'm going to put that, juices in there. I'm going to strain it, do all that stuff, do it right. So it's done some research. It's been weighing me down on, sometimes it's too much information, sometimes just doing it. Just stick to the basics. It should work. Should. This is the before. And then I'll get you some after shots. Yeah, still trimming, got the sides all done. Got to start now, work the major part of the fat. So, still cutting. Alright, so I trimmed this thing up. Looks like I got quite a bit of, a lot of fat off there. I'm going to use that for the tallow. I'm going to smoke that. It's going to go on the smoker when it's about 5:30 in the morning. Get that thing nice and good, and hopefully it's good timing. It'd be liquid for the most part. Strain it, do all that, and then put it on the meat side, and then wrap it. And then I got another 4 hours. So this is gold, even though it's people call it fat, cutting the fat. But I think probably got 13 pounds. Started at probably 3-4 pounds in there. So this thing's going to be good. Next, I'm just going to season this thing. So I'm going to take some video of this. Show you the final product of that. Once I season it, put it in the house, I'll put it on, I'll get the smoker warmed up at 11 at night and put it on at 12 and let it go. Alright, the rub's going to be from Cabela's Open Season Spice Blends. It's a maple, bacon, bourbon, chipotle. I'm going to cover this thing, cover it, take it in the house, and I'll put this baby on in 6 hours. So just kind of sit and stew a little bit in the rub. And I'm doing this outside because I'd rather make a mess outside than inside. So then I'll get dogs. And try and get in the crevices that you can. I figured, well, first one, hopefully this will do it. Most of these things are salt anyways. This will give it a little flavor. And it's going to be low and slow on this thing. Because it doesn't seem like it wants to stick very well with the fatty part. I'm sure once I flip this thing over, I'll get a little better results. So I'm going to get back with you, get this whole thing covered, and then we'll go from there. Alright, so this is what it looks like with the rub on there. I'm going to wrap this thing up in tinfoil, put it back in the fridge, kind of let it sit for a little bit, and Next time, I'm putting it on the smoker, and then it's wait time from there. I don't know, 5 hours, with the rub on it, and I got the trimmings I'm going to put in there. I'm basically going to put it on here, come back at 7 in the morning. It's 11:30 right now, so just about ready to go. So I'm going to load this thing up, and then we're going to just wait, and I'll be back with you in the morning. 171. Alright, so the flat's a little warmer than the other. I'm just going to wrap this thing and then we'll go from there. Probably another 4 hours-ish. So, kind of excited. Okay, I'll be back with you in a bit. Got to get this thing off. Oh, that looks beautiful. Got some fat in there. Very juicy, and it has shrank up. Hopefully I got some juices in there. Take brisket off, put it on a butcher paper, wrap it up, and then put it right back on. All right, see how this goes. So this is the meat side. I'm going to put the talon, the trimming I had on this that's been cooking all night long, just to keep it, because I got plenty of fat on the other side. Alright, that side down now. And they don't have to fight with it. I'm going to fold it again. Make it tight. And this way. That's going to be that side up. As a blanket. Gonna go put it back in. I'm gonna put this thing back in and I'm gonna let it go for another maybe 4 hours. I checked the temperature. I want to get about 200. All right, had it all wrapped, put it on there. For some reason, the smoker started getting too hot. Shut it off. It's still hot inside that thing. Shut it off. It's gonna cool off. I'm gonna turn it back on, get it to 225, and then we'll, as long as the temperature holds steady. It's held steady all night long. A little bit of a hiccup, but yeah, wrapping it up wasn't that bad. When I picked it up, that thing was, my hands were poking into it. It was getting soft. So, maybe this little cool down will be kind of good. Get this thing back up and going again. So we'll see. First hiccup, I guess, but it's a 10-minute hiccup, because it'll probably only take 10 minutes to heat this thing back up once it cools off. So, alright, I'll be back with you in 4 hours, and then that's when I'm going to let it rest for about 6. Alright, it's been 4 hours wrapped. I know, scared to death now. This is the crunch time, is where it really gets important that you don't overdo it, but I got to get it at least 200, and I think maybe another hour will do it. So, I don't know, leaning over, bad camera shot, but I'll be back in an hour. I just checked. Temperature on both sides are about 195, 197. Like to get it up to 200, 203. I think that's optimal from what everyone says. I'm going to do it for another, I'll check it in 45 minutes and see what happens. So hopefully it works out good. And that way I can just let it start resting. So I'm excited. If I just break the 200, I'm going to be happy, throughout the whole thing. All right, get back to you. It was lengthy, and I'm 12 hours in so far, 12 total hours. So I'm excited, but now's the time where just a little bit I don't want to screw things up. So I'll get back with you in 45 minutes. See if I can get closer to the 200 mark. Hopefully I will. I'm going to check it with a thermometer. I'm going to take it off regardless because I'm going to, if it's still under 200, I'm going to wrap it, let it cook a little more, and just put it in the cooler, let it go. If it's above 200, I'm going to let it cool for about a half hour to an hour, and then wrap it, and then put it in the cooler and seal it up. So, this is where you kind of improvise a little bit, and hopefully it works out. So here we go. Alright, see what the thing says. 192 there. I got 198 there. Let's see how we do in flat. So one in the flat. The other one, flat's good. Let's keep right directly in the middle. 198 in the middle. I think that's good. I think what I'll do is I'll just I'll wrap it and let it go. All right, let me go get the towels. I'm going to take this thing out, wrap it up, and put it in the cooler. All right, that is got a lot of juices flowing out of that thing. Don't know if there's a specific way of doing this. You just kind of play it by ear, see how it goes. What I'll do is I'll put it in like this. It's like a big kid. It's cool out. Hopefully it'll drop down. I'll leave it open like this for a half hour, and next time you see it, I'm going to be unwrapping it. So I'm kind of excited. Got to wait 5.5 hours for this. The moment I've been waiting for, it is 6 o'clock. I've been waiting for this time for a long time. I started my journey probably roughly 6 o'clock last night-ish, trimming up this brisket, doing everything I was told, but yet I'm going to give some kudos to the people that I've reviewed many times just to make sure I got it right. It is the Mad Scientist Barbecue. He's on YouTube. Max the Meat Guy, he's on YouTube, and Meat Church Barbecue, and he is on YouTube as well. This is my very first brisket. And then when I finally set up my RegTech, got it going, you go to recipes, punched it in, and basically it confirmed roughly everything that I did. So 6, trimmed it up, whatever, seasoned it, put it in the fridge, brought it out, put it on the grill roughly midnight yesterday. Got up at 7 before the alarm went off. I wanted to make sure everything was good. It's looking good. It ended up, based on temperature, it was in the 170s for the point and high 170s, 80s for the flat. So I decided, since the flat was at temperature, the point wasn't quite yet at what I wanted, wrapped it, put it back on, did it for another 4 hours. RegTech basically said 8 hours on the grill, 4 more hours on the being wrapped. And everyone says, you gotta let it rest, let it rest, let it rest. All right, so I wrapped it, put it on, tested the temperatures, and the point got to about 201, I'm guessing, and the point was probably high 90s, almost 200. So I said, screw it, I'm gonna take it off. Wrapped it, in towels, and put it in the cooler and just let it sit. So I did other stuff today, whatever. So now 6 o'clock, I opened this thing up and the thing was still warm in there. So I don't know if I got a big ball of mush or what I have. So here we go. This is what's going to happen. I'm going to take this thing out and unwrap it, put it on the board, and we'll go from there. And I put the towels on there because I didn't want to get the, look at that. That thing, that paper is soaking wet. I think that's so good. I think that's good. I think that's a good thing. I'm so afraid to unwrap this thing. So I'm scared. Because you know what, it's a lot of money, $65 and change. On the smoker is 8 hours wrapped. I think I did 4.5, and then I've had it in the cooler for 6 hours. So we'll go from there. Move. And my dogs are losing their mind. So I'm gonna unwrap this thing. Like I said, scared to death. I got the towel underneath just in case it goes crazy with the juices. Oh yeah, there's a lot of juice in there. Oh my God, there's tons of juice in this thing. You guys better get out of here. Yeah, I got my dogs hovering around. All right, this thing is so juicy. All right, so when you guys see this thing, and if you see the shaky B-roll, it's because I only got one hand because the other one's full of grease. So just make it work. Make it work. All right, flat point. There's a cutoff here. They say once you get up to a certain point, once you get to the 2 muscles, turn it 90, then you start cutting. Slice the stuff, and hopefully I can do like some fast forwarding. And when I put it in the to let it rest, I actually put it in just at 200. And I, you know, in hindsight, maybe I could have cut off some more fat, because this fat is no joke. But like I said, it's my first one. I'm gonna take a bite. I'm going right at it. That thing is juicy, big time juicy. So let me just cut through this, and then I'll kind of like show you what it actually looks like. There's still a lot of fat. You know what? Hindsight, wish I would have cut a little more fat off. You know, they always show that shot of them squeezing the. All right, I'm getting both layers here, so I got more point than the flat. They always hold up with the two. Oh yeah, I got tons of juice coming out of that. Tons. So they say rotate and start cutting. Yeah, I got a lot of point on this. What I'll do is I'm going to cut the ends off. You know, I guess they say this is like best burnt ends. This is where your burnt ends kind of come into play. But they say rotate. And I use a serrated knife because it just seems a little easier than trying to have to push. Just letting the knife do the cutting. And I got my dogs hanging out in case something does fall. Some people say the spot right where the point and the flat meet is probably the tenderest. Some people say the ends. You know, they all got their own favorites. So me, I'm just glad it looks good, it tastes good so far. I really haven't had a chance because I got to sit there and keep yapping. That thing just fell apart at the end. All right, I'm going to go right at the end here. Try every little spot. Top piece, I think it's probably all fat. Yeah, it looks like it's all fat. Yeah, that's just very, very tender. I'm just going to take a. So they kind of do the old hold it up. It's just falling apart. It's just all falling apart. I think I did good. For the beginners, this is my first one. Follow the recipe just like I did, like I explained all the way through. You're going to spend at least 12 hours of cooking. Wrapping it, keeps all the moisture in. Letting it rest, keeps that moisture in. I cut this little top piece off. I don't know. And it's got good color. It's just so juicy. It's falling apart on me here. Very good. Highly recommend just following what they tell you. 225, you're going to spend at least 12 hours, but make sure you wrap it for 4 hours at the back end. So, I'm Matt. Like, subscribe, and hopefully you enjoy the Matthew Scott project. All right, talk to you later.